Hey there, guys, and welcome to week 4. Now, because this week has a lot of hands-on activities, um, basically, there's a lot going on this week. It's nice to start early, and so for this week, I'm going to be splitting this video into two parts. The first part I'm going to cover from the week 4 module introduction up until the human-centered design and the build framework. And for the other part of the modules for this week, which is ideation techniques up until specialized AI for writing, I'm going to cover just before Friday or Saturday. This first part I'm covering should give you enough information to be able to carry out your peer activity, right? Because the peer activity comes just after this particular activity. So let's get into it. While we're getting into it, let me ask that you subscribe, like, comment. I try as much as possible to respond to all comments that I find on these videos. If you do enjoy what I'm doing, you like what I'm doing, consider encouraging me by hitting the subscribe button and, of course, hitting the thumbs up or the like button on your screen. So let's get into it. Week 4 starts with, of course, the usual introduction from Damphil, letting us know, talking about the previous week and letting us know what to expect up front. I'm just going to pick out some of these modules or discussion that are quite important, at least important enough for your end of module quiz, if there is any for that particular module. And in this particular module, the introduction module, the first thing that you want to do, which is required for your milestone submission, is to fill out your employment survey form. Remember that Damfe kept saying that for you to finish or graduate from the ACE program, you would have to have updated that survey, that form, at least once. Right? I've done mine. I think this, now that is mandated, will be about the fourth time I would be doing mine. So, and it doesn't take a whole lot. All you need to do is to just click on this survey and fill out all of the requirements, right? Be as honest as possible, your name, email, and the requirement and that burdensome. It's just trying to find out, have you gotten any new job, any new role after you started the ACE program? Are you actively seeking for it will take you just little less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes thereabouts for you to be done with that. And please, when you are done, the moment you click on this submit form, right, it's going to open. The next page you will find will be a thank you, submission successful page. I'll show you what I mean. So for me, so this is the page I'm referring to. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see, right? So it says, thank you, your form was submitted successfully. You are required to take a screenshot of this particular information, right? This particular information. If you don't know how to take a screenshot, you may want to find what's specific to your device, right? It may be different on the Mac, it may be different on the Windows, and depending on your laptop configuration on Windows, it may also differ, right? I found that for my laptop, the function and the print screen button, function is usually the button that has FN on it, and then the print screen button is the one that has PLT-SC, right? Does the trick for me, right? It helps me do a screenshot of my entire screen. For you, it may be different. So please just do a Google search to find what's specific for you, right? If you hit any rock bottom there, you may just want to use another phone to take a screenshot, send it to your laptop, and then just paste that link right there. Okay, so that's pretty much, well, of course, the simulation. How do I put it on the simulation update, right? What your the simulation update, what I mean by that is what's happening this week as per the simulation, right? So this week, we are supposed to make a presentation. Last week we focused on coming up with a research question, doing sort of research on the problem that we suspect, maybe maybe the issue with the VAC AI. And so this week we're going to be putting together a presentation based on the data that we collected. And for that, we're going to need to create a user persona. We're also going to need to present our data in using charts, right? Data presentation. And those are some of the things we're going to hone our skills um, with this week. So that's pretty much everything about week one. And please pay attention to some of these AI tools for this week. These are some of the AI tools that will be very helpful, may come in handy. So meditation module 2 4.2. Meditation is the third part to our daily 3, right? We have movement, and then we have uh, uh, daily 3, the 3 pages that we are required to write. And then meditation is the third part of that habit that can help us reach good success. And so you may find it interesting to read through all of the meditation information here. Perhaps if you watch some of the videos, I think around this model, it should give you pretty much enough information, right? Remember that in one of the videos, the speaker had mentioned that, you know, you want to focus, take about 5 minutes, just focus on your breathing, your inhaling and exhaling, right? Just focus in a quiet position, right? And you find out that sometimes doing nothing could help increase your productivity, right? There's no end of module quiz here. It's just asking us if we've completed all of the modules, and you just go ahead and tick yes and click on done, and then move to the next module. Module 4.3 is where the workload sort of, you know, bumps up a bit, where we are being introduced to charts and what they are, how to read them, the different kind of charts that exist, the different parts of a chart, right? When I say different parts of a chart, I'm referring to the chart title, the vertical axis, the y-axis title, the horizontal axis title, and the data labels, right? The labels of the data, right? And all of those are these are what I just mentioned to you, and they are pretty much important going forward, even up onto the part 2 of this particular discussion. So this part talks about the types of charts that exist, with some of the charts, right? The bar chart, pie chart, histogram, scattered graph, um, and so on. There's a bunch of them that's mentioned. If it interests you, you may want to go scatter plot, bubble chart. You may want to go, and you know that for each of these charts, there are different use scenarios for them, right? There are different use scenarios for them, and that takes us up onto week. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at um, the quiz for this particular week, right? So um, element uniquely identifies each data point. Those are the data labels. Those are the data labels. It identifies each data point, right? Um, this is a stacked bar chart, right? You're going to see several of this kind of, I think in some of the videos that you will watch along, they talked about how to even create this using Excel, right? This is the histogram. This digital axis is the only one that's not required for a important, it's not an important element of a chart for anyone to be able to understand what your chart is about. And of course, the chart element gives comprehensive description of what the visualization intends to communicate. That's the chart title. And then you can click on done and move on to the next part of this module. Now, improving chart and graph labeling. Now, improving chart and graph labeling, improving chart and graph units, improving the labels, the unit, the position of your labels or your titles, whether it's the chart title or the axis title, whether it's the Y or X axis. All of these are important because they together add to the allow me to use the word readability of your charts, right? It makes your chart less clustered, more understandable. And in one of the quiz, you would find that there's a question that has a poorly positioned um, axis title, right? And you find that in one of the quizzes there. Now, it's important to also take into consideration this chat manipulation part, because it forms part of the quiz also, right? And this two part really talks about how charts sometimes can be misleading, how charts sometimes can exaggerate information, or how sometimes charts can suggest incorrect information, right? Or information that just wants to suit the creator of the chart, suit their opinion, suit their emphasis. And so sometimes they cherry pick this data, right? They cherry pick this data to communicate what they want, not what necessarily may be the truth. So you have to be careful. As simple as charts may be, they can also be a powerful tool. So let's quickly take a look at the quiz, and then we'll come back to the main activity that's required for our milestone. All right, so this is the quiz, right, that I mentioned, right? And it says, what's wrong about this graph? Of course, the title position, right? It's wrongly positioned. Um, so which of the following is true about the way you present your data visualization on a slide? It has to be simple and uncluttered. And of course, cherry picking is an issue, right? It's a technique that you can use to bend or misinterpret information, right? Picking data that just suits your particular bias, right? And then let's come to the data visualization part and quickly get our hands busy. So allow me to go back to week 1, right? Because there's something important that we need to get from week 1, which is our milestone worksheet and rubrics, right? Those two things are very important, right? I cannot overemphasize them. So you can get your milestone worksheet. So if you do get your milestone worksheet, inside of your milestone worksheet, you can even access your rubric. You can download your rubric from there. Right? So if you do click on this, just like I've done here, it's going to open asking you to make a copy. Click on make a copy, and then when it opens up, you're going to find copy of milestone worksheet, blah blah blah. For me, I prefer to take out the copy prefix there and just leave it this way. And then I'll click on file, and then click on move, and then I move it to the folder in my drive that I created specifically for ALX. So I'm going to week 4. So let me come into the main folder, and then in the main folder I have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You don't necessarily have to have it. This is just me being tidy. So inside of week 4, and then I move it there. So you notice that I already have it here, right? So I'm not going to move it. In fact, I cannot move it to that same folder anymore. So for you, please move into that folder that you've created, right? And then just scroll down to visualize data section A. Okay, so we are required to make a copy of this particular spreadsheet. So you can click on it again, open. It's going to ask you to make a copy, but for me, I have a copy already. So I'm just going to open the copy that I have made. Allow me to close this, and allow me to close this because I already have those information. So there's no need for me to make another copy, as it were. So also maybe in one tab, I want to open my drive. I just have it handy there somewhere. Okay, so this is the information that we need, right? It's a data set of refugees. It's a UN data set. I think it's an original, so it's a real data set. And then we're asked to manipulate it in some way, create charts for it. So pardon me, my network is acting up a bit. That's why it's a bit slow. Once it's done loading, we're going to find two sheets. This is the general sheet. Then there's another sheet that we are required to work on. Right, that's what I'm waiting for come to come up. Just allow me take a quick look at my network. Okay, great. So we're good. So this is my ALX folder. See coming up. Sorry, you notice that it's a bit perhaps maybe I will just use my phone. You have to forgive me for having these troubles every now and then. It's been a major concern. One of the reasons why I usually am unable to upload or sometimes meet up with the time. So I'm just going to turn on my network data, and hopefully I can switch once it comes up. All right. Okay, so let's hope that this is way better. Again, forgive us for taking this much of your time. Okay, I think yes, we're back. All right, so this is the general data. The analyzed data is what we are required to work on, right? That's what we're required to work on. And so if you come over to your Savannah, right, it goes through just about everything that you are required to do, right? It gives you a step-by-step process of how to go about it. So once this opens up, I'm going to start. So it says, review this data set and ask yourself relevant questions, right? What are the trends or patterns in the data? Right? Are there any significant changes? So one of the things you want to do at first is to first look through this general data. What is this data about? What's the trend that's obvious uh, to you? Now, it's asking us to create a compelling visualization of your data, right? We need to create a bar chart and a pie chart, right? Select the relevant data ranges for the specific visualization. Choose the appropriate chart. Blah, blah. So this is just telling us what to do. Add axis labels, legends, and notation to make your visual message clear, right? This is just trying to tell us all together to fine tune it to the best possible that we can, right? And take a screenshot of your visualized data, share it on your squad, um, share it with your squad on the portal. Now let's go to the second part. So I'll come back to, maybe let's just do that first part. So this is the part that we are required to work on. So we are supposed to find the total refugees, right? We're supposed to find the total refugees. So if you look at your milestone worksheet, it says once you've made a copy, right? Once you've made a copy of this, right? Make sure you have sorry, yes. So yeah, make sure you have visualized the data using the bar chart, pie chart, and you visualize. Okay, so this is just telling, this is still referring us back to the two things that we need. There's a part there that really talked about which part we need to work on for this data set, but I know that this is the part we're supposed to work on. I think it must have been on the Savannah page. It must have been on the Savannah page, perhaps on the previous page I am coming from. Okay, decide what type of visualization you want to use, whether it's a bar chart, pie chart, scatter plot, bubble chart. So decide whatever you want to use. So for me, I decided to just use the bar chart, and just like it specifies here. So this is the box that's required for the Julius AI. Now, to get the information here, the total sum of Albanian refugees, total sum of Algerian refugees, and Angolan refugees. For me, I found that the formula I used, of course, like I said in the previous video, you may find that some other formulas or some other ways may help you better. So I'm summing everything. If So I'm saying in essence is I want to do a sum of every of this refugee thingy. I want to do a sum of it if my search criteria is Albania, right, or Algeria or Angola. Just sum up all of these numbers here. Right, you notice that for Afghanistan, these two are summed up, and that's how come we have, this figure here, right? It's added together. So sum, the range that I want to sum is, this is A, so I'm starting from A4 all the way to A38, right? So A4 all the way to A38, A4 all the way to A38. As a matter of fact, I'll just leave it as A. So just leaving it as A means A all the way down. So peradventure, if tomorrow this particular sheet gets updated, if there's a new row added, I don't need to come back to, instead of A38 now go to A39. No, it just automatically populates it. So I'm going to do a comma, and the criteria is if that particular role is equal to Albania, right, which is A3 for me here. And there's a little error here, because you see when it says A4 all the way down to A, it's only referring to this sheet that I am on, right? This analyzed data sheet. So what I was referring to was this sheet, right? The column A from this sheet. So I need to add that, and you can add that by simply adding to the front here the name of the sheet. The name of the sheet is data, and then an exclamation. So this would then refer to the A column from this sheet, right? So, and then A3, yes, that's what I want there, right? I want the data from this sheet if it is equal to what I have here, and then I want to sum, the range I want to sum is this particular range. So D, so I want to sum from D4 all the way down to D. So I'm just going to write D4 all the way down. Again, I have to add my date, the name of the sheet, data, and I think it is case sensitive, so you also want to check on that. Data D4 all the way down to D. Yeah, so that's the range I want to sum. If all goes well, then it should give you your results, right? So just like I've done here, and all you then need to do is to just drag this downwards, right? And then it automatically populates that for you. And once you are done, right, now it's time to create the chart. I'm just going to highlight all my data sets, and then I'm going to click on insert, and then I'm going to click on chart, right? And you see that it's put up a new chart. Now from the menu bar here, I can then decide which chart I want. Do I want a pie chart? Do I want a bar chart? And bar chart, is it a vertical one or the horizontal chart? Do I want a line graph and all of that? Um, just to be specific with what we have been required to do, I've gone ahead to add the pie and the bar chart, right? And for each of the chart, if you click on edit chart, you can do a whole lot of things. So you see mine has like a 3D feel to it, right? So it has like a 3D feel to it. You can choose to begin to adjust to customize all of these charts as you want. Do you want to customize the chart style? That's the 3D. If I take out this 3D, you notice it becomes a plain 2D. So remember that that's what was required. Just fine tune it, right? Make it as understandable as it can be to the end user, the person, the people who are going to be, which is of course your teammate and the stakeholders at Waga, that you're going to make in the final presentation to. So that's all about how to create bots. You can fine tune it as you want. I've done a little bit of fine tuning. That's why you notice that my labels here are in bold. Of course, the same thing applies. Click on the chart, click on edit chart, and then fine tune as you want. Now, for this particular one, right, we want to head over to Julius.ai, right? So you click on Julius.ai. I have mine still opened here, and on Julius.ai, please, I heard that I think you are given a token or some units. So if you overuse this, maybe you may get to the point where Julius.ai will say maybe you need to maybe go to a premium version now. So I don't know if it's unlimited, right? Okay, so it says using limited free tier AI. I think so I think it's limited. So please be careful um with the way you query Julius as AI. Decide what you want to do early, be sure, and then give it that prompt, and then it will generate your AI chart for you. All right. So for Julius.ai, you are required to take a screenshot. Once you are done creating your chart, take a screenshot and then come over back to the sheet and then paste that sheet, right? Paste that sheet. Now they even gave us sort of like a prompt, a guide to your prompt. So create a, then tell you what you want to go. Is it a bar chart or a pie chart? What you want to create? Create a dash. So fill in that part yourself um, with the correct labels and headings using the data pasted below, right? The data. So what this is just saying is you can copy all of this. I found that Julius AI knows how to interpret. Just copy all of this and then paste on Julius dot AI. So I'm just gonna do a Control V. Oops, sorry, I did not copy. I did not copy. Um, so copy um, Control V. So, but I'm not going to stop here, right? I'm going to add some queries. So create a blah, 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 create a pie chart or a bar chart for me using the data set below. So it's going to interpret all of this and then generate or your chart. You can choose to edit the graph. You can choose to do a lot of things with it. Do you want to increase the size, the legends, the size, the title? Do you want to custom it, right? Customize it in some way, shape, or form, right? So please feel free to do as you please. Lastly, you need to click on download as a document. Right? If you do download as a document, it downloads both your prompt and the graph, right? So you can then take a screenshot of your graph, right? Just like it says here. It says to take a screenshot, right? Take a screenshot of the visual you created using Julius.ai. And that's what I've done here and I pasted here. So for me, you may not even need to download as PDF, right? If you can already do a screenshot from me and then just crop as you please and then paste it here, right? And pasting here is quite easy. So what I did, you will notice that yours, I merged all of the cells inside of this box, right? By highlighting all of the cells inside of the box, you find your merge button here, merge cells, right? You see that it's now a plain white, and then you can then, while that while that box is selected, you can come to insert, and then insert an image, insert into the cell, and then you can choose that screenshot that you saved, that you just did. Now, how do you get the screenshots, right? If you're not using that document, if you did not download it as a document, now that you've done a screenshot from Julius.ai, you can open Paint on your device, right? Just open Paint, Microsoft Paint, even the simplest one. Paste your screenshot, right? Paste your screenshot, and then that's Control V, and then save as. You can save as JPEG, and then save it in a folder where you can find. You can then come what's the name to paste it. So apparently I have accidentally closed what we were working on. So we need to get back in there again. I was trying to close the Paint application, but I accidentally hit the. So that's that for Julius.ai, the first two parts. Now let's head over to creating the user persona. The user persona. So let me open my drive, my intranet. So once my drive is open, I can get to my milestone from my folder. Okay, So user persona, of course, one of the things I forgot to mention is once you are done, please click on share, switch this over to anyone with the link, copy the link, and then paste it inside of the milestone documents in the up in the right channel. So week 4 milestone document rubrics. um all right, so far we've done all of this. We are here now, user persona. So let's quickly look at the user persona, right? So the idea behind creating a user persona, right, really just borders around tailoring your solution for VAC AI to be um user centric, right? Be user centric. um Maybe I would even extend it to also be customer centric, right? Because not only do you want to focus on the user's experience, you also want to make sure that the user ends up generating revenue for the company, right? They are using the app, they are paying for the app, and so on and so forth, right? It's just a design framework that focuses on the user, right? um Human centered design was modified by the guys at ALX, and they have sort of like a more refined version, which they call the build framework. And build simply stands for believe, understand, invent, listen, deliver, and deliver. Right? It's they are all design thinking. They are all, they all take essence from, design thinking, right? Um, so um let's go to the activity, getting to know your user, defining user versus customer. Please take note that there are two different things. A user is not the customer, right? A user can be the customer, but there's a line that demarcates the difference, and you may want to read that to understand um, that basically um, the user experience is, everything that has to do with your typography, how easy it is for them to find application, their interaction with the application, right? But customer experience goes beyond the application. It goes to things outside of that application, things like your company's philosophy, your customer care service, and things like that, right? The experience that they have while interfacing with your company as a whole, and not just using the app. um, so this is an example of a user persona that was created for us. Right? A user persona can be a semi-fictional character based on your current ideal user. So it doesn't have to be real, right? You can make it up, make things up. And so for me, I found that Chat GPT has been very helpful, very handy for me. Remember that in the last video, I talked about how that Chat GPT can remember conversations, right? From previous discussions. And so under this particular discussion, um, I've been having everything that has to do with ALX. So it's easy for me now to give some kind of prompt that ChatGPT, immediately understands. So take, for example, when I was about to create this user persona. Um, so All right. So so I started by, oh, I want you to create a user persona. I said, okay, I can create that. So to create a user persona, you typically follow these steps, right? Where did I get these steps from? Right. I just used the explanation from, I think it was Savannah. I found that explanation on Savannah. All right. So yeah, to create a user persona, um, your persona must include. Okay, so these are things it must include, but I'm pretty sure I saw that this thing that I posted, that this prompt, um, I picked that up from one of the modules here, right? One of the modules here. Um, that's why I picked that. So I just give that as a guide, right? Um, Sorry, please pardon me. This was Chat GPT's response to me, right? But I then told you that, so this user persona can be a semi-fictional character. You remember that from the Savannah, right? In this case, for the simulation at Waga, so I tweaked that statement a bit, right? Who would the ideal user for the VAC application be? Their name, occupation, demographic, personal story, pain point, and challenges, right? So ChatGPT went ahead to create this for me, and then I still went ahead to refine it a bit, right? I'm also thinking about what unique feature could the VAC application stand make could make the VAC application stand out from travel apps. So all of those information, all of those things, queries, are things that I captured from, from this from the previous, I believe it was from here. Yes. So what unique could make, so I captured all of that. I just tweaked it a bit so that ChatGPT can give me a better output, and then give me three unique features. It gave me one, asked for three, so he gave me those three unique features, and then I went ahead to say, then use those information to draft a better user persona. The user persona must have the image. So I told it I'll add that image myself. It must have a name, age, country, occupation, personal story, and all of that. And that particular format must be followed. Remember, they said that any persona you are creating must have an image, the name, age, country, occupation. So this is what I just refined for VAC, for um, ChatGPT, and it was able to throw at me um, something, right? So now we head over to Canva. So I'm going to use Canva. We are required to use Canva to make that user persona, right? We're supposed to create that user persona on Canva, right? At least the manual one, manually creating your user persona. We're required to do that on Canva. And then there's another one we are going to create using an AI generated um, um, toolkit, I will say, right? Okay, so Canva, if you look in the link below, right? If you look in the link in the description below, I'm going to add a link to this particular design that I made, right? And once you click on that link, it's going to bring you here, and then the same method applies. Just click on file, click on copy, and you can tweak it to suit whatever it is you want, right? Now, how did I even get to make this in the first place? I just go to Canva and then I searched, right? I searched for examples of user persona, right? I just did a simple user persona search. You're going to find several templates that you can adjust, right? For me, the one that I adjusted is this particular one, the one that I found. If you do, for example, user persona, you can see already. So I had several options to pick from, right? So if you search for customer journey map, it says customer journey. So maybe let me just copy this, and if you paste this here, customer journey map, whiteboard in yellow, teal. Even if by the time you stop at teal and you search, or you add purple and you search, it should already bring out that particular template that I use, right? It should bring it out. So this is the template that I use, right? You notice that it's very different because I just tweaked it. I took this out, changed it maybe to suit what I needed, what I wanted, right? If that's different from the persona that you created, please just find a suitable template. But if you feel you want to edit the templates that I use, that I created, by all means, just click on the link in the description and then make a copy. I'll come back to show you how that works in a bit. So just um, click on allow me copy the link, and if I, for example, use my incognito browser and I paste that link, when you click that link, it's going to bring you here, and then you click on file and then you can make a copy. Of course, if you are not signed in, it will require you to sign in and things like that, um, or sign up if you're not signed up already, and then you can then begin to adjust. But this, you won't be able to adjust anything because everyone will be on view only, so that it doesn't tamper with what I have created. So make a copy for yourself and tweak as you please, as you wish. Okay. So once you are done, gonna click on share, and then you have to download, right? Click on download. It's going to download this as an image, right? It's going to download the work as an image, right? Because I already have it, I'm not going to click on download again, right? Preferably you want to download as JPEG, JPG. Now come to your drive, and remember it's going to download on your computer. So come to your drive, and then you're going to click on new, and you, this time around, inside that ALX folder that you are in, you want to upload file upload, right? You want to upload a file, and then search for that image that you downloaded. Search for it through the folders where you put it, and then upload it here, right? The moment it is uploaded here, you're going to click on menu here, click on share, and then turn this to anyone with the link. Anyone with the link, copy that link, and then come over to your Milestone, and then paste it in here, right? Sorry, paste it in here. It's important also that you rename it, even though the rubric doesn't mark grading name, but it was mentioned in the what's the name here. So this should be the name, manually created user persona. So you can rename before moving to your Google Drive. But if you look at the rubric wasn't specific about what name you use. So it says all the rubric is concerned about um, is there a link to the manually created persona? Can it be viewed? Right? Is there a link to the one that's created by AI? Can it be viewed? Right? It doesn't talk about the name, but just keep things as should be and just rename it. That should take about a few seconds. And then lastly, for this part of this video, is the AI generated persona. For that, you have to click on that link, right? Go to personal dev. It's going to open up, and then it's almost a one way, it's a straightforward what's the name. So it says enter a short description of your product or service, right? I think I was a bit smart with that. So all I did was to ask again. I just asked um ChatGPT to give me a short description of. So this is me trying to refine my conversation. So short description of the product. Now, because in context, it knows I'm talking about ALX and the ACE program and the VAC program. That's how he could tell. And then he gave me a short description of, and I just simply copied this. I stopped around because I noticed that when you copy this, for example, let me just show you a demonstration of that. And you paste, it may not take, that's why it says short description, it may not take all of the sentences, so it stops somewhere here, right? So I just read through and then adjusted to travel experience, and then I clicked on generate user persona, and then immediately it just popped up the user persona, right? This is another one, right? This is another one. I'm not sure why it looks very weird like this. Not sure why it's generated. I think there's an error maybe with the network. But if you notice that what was generated at first for me here, right? Let me just open this. It's quite different, right? Not as messy as what you just saw. So that's pretty much everything. And then lastly, do a screenshot. Again, when you do a screenshot, come over to Paint, paste it on Paint, right? Paste it on Paint, and then so I'll just show you what I mean. So I've done a screenshot. I'll go over to Paint and then Control V, right? Now I'm free to adjust to crop this in any way, shape, or form that I please, right? I can crop this in any way, shape, or form that I please. So crop, I selected and then I cropped and then save. You can use save as, please use save as JPEG, and then choose a folder where you would find it. And once you are done, same rule apply. I'm not going to save this again because I already have it. Come to your drive inside of that folder, click on new, file upload, and then choose that file, and then you will be here. Finally, share, and then change to anyone with the link. Copy that link and then paste it inside of your milestone for the part 2, right? And then pretty much you're done with the first part, right? Next, prepare for your peer meeting. The peer meeting is going to be a long one. You can already see you have to talk about several things. Your problem statement from week 3. um, you have to discuss bad ideas, possible ideas, and all of that. And then one meeting outputs and all of that. So please, this should be enough to prepare you for your what's the name? Your peer meeting. Your peer meeting. Thank you again. Please leave questions, concerns, and then I'll do well to attend to them as soon as possible. Uh, End of module quiz, right? So maybe before I start the next video, I'm going to go through this end of module quiz. I just thought to quickly um, share this with the entire um, community. Thank you so much, and do have a lovely time attending to your week's submission.